live.
Hey everyone, happy Monday
Hey.
and welcome to the beginning. Of course, since it's my editing night, we have to do this on the show. But as you can see, you're joined by Ash, joined by Steve, and our new special guest, Naveed. How you doing, Naveed?
I'm doing well. How are you guys? Happy Monday.
Hey, likewise.
Not too bad. It was.
Is there such a thing as a
weekend.
happy Monday? I don't know if there is.
I don't know.
I've had a
can
pretty
happen.
good Monday
Yeah.
by Monday standards.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's been all right.
So just to get the questions out of the way, Adam Davis says, "Where is Ash?" Jared address Ash has a new space. No, I'm visiting my parents up on the Northern California coast. They're renting a place up on the Northern California coast, and I haven't seen them in a long time because due to COVID. So I'm up here for a couple of days visiting them, but I'll be back in my normal space on Wednesday.
Nice.
There you go.
Nice. Got to get your dad to play what the dub or whatever
Yeah.
that's called. I still think. God,
I know. I
wish
told him
Rob
about it on the
Paulson
drive
played
up.
that
I
game.
actually told him about what the dub, and he said that sounds great.
I really want
Nice.
to play that game. I bought
Me
it, but
too.
I haven't had a chance to play it yet.
I don't think I've looked into it too much, but it seems like it's something that'd be fun.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It
It's,
seems like a
uh,
lot of fun. Yeah.
I think
It's like basically just a Jackbox game.
yeah.
That's what
Yeah,
it sounded like.
essentially.
Yeah.
I think for folks like Ash and Mr. Rob Paulson, it could be they could elevate the experience somewhat. I don't have anywhere near the voice talent even Ash has, but damn, I
Well, that's like
Even.
I can-
Ouch.
Oh, well,
that's-
no offense, but your dad's famous. For
I know what you
it.
mean. I know. No,
Well, that's like back in the day when Twilight just came out. Or no, it was 50 Shades of Grey, and they had like a bunch of voice actors, people able to do voices, reading the lines from that, and just various character voices. And that was the hot new thing.
Yeah. Oh, hold on one sec. Before we continue, I got to grab something. I'll be right back.
I love how people are calling the thing behind you, Derek, a fossil and a potato. And
I actually had to dust the thing off. I want to use it more. I have a PS TV as well, so I can just use that. But it's just like
Right.
I didn't use my Vita much. I should, because there's good
couldn't-
stuff, but all the goods like Gravity Rush. I was like, okay, I'll pick that up. Oh, it's on PS4. Okay, well, oh, it's on PS4 as well.
I couldn't let Derek be
someone's
the
asking-
only one repping the PS Vita today.
No, there you go. I mean, I have a PSP over there as well, but that is officially dead.
Yeah.
Well, not by the summer.
Ishi Dragon is asking if I unplugged my mic. No, but it is not as close to me as it usually is because of my kind of weird temporary setup. So let me see if I can increase the input volume a bit.
This is Ash's version of the Colorado episode.
Yeah. All right. Hopefully that helps a little bit. I just turned up the input
Honestly,
volume.
I turn it down just a little bit because this sounds
little
like more peaking than anything else.
Okay.
It doesn't actually make it sound any better. It just,
All right. How about now?
I think you sound good.
yeah, it sounds
Good?
That seems
All
good.
right.
For a man working
Cool.
in a foreign home, you sound great.
There you
Yeah. All right.
go. We'll explain that in the thing as well.
Yeah.
So.
All right.
All right. Everybody set?
Yes.
Yes.
We'll do a countdown and then we'll have a clap on screen, Naveed.
Cool.
So here we go. 3, 2, 1, record. Everybody recording.
Yes,
Yep.
sir.
All right, let's get a clap whenever. Beautiful. All right. I think with that, we are set to go. All right. Let's do this. Let's see how we do.
All right.
All right. Hello and welcome everyone to today's News Tonight, the weeknight news show where we're joined by special guests and our lovely patrons to discuss the day's gaming news. I'm your host, Derek Bittner, and I'm joined as always by my good friends and GVG co-founders, Ash Paulson and Steve Bowling, as well as our very special guest, Naveed, content creator, streamer, gentleman. Welcome, good sir.
Thank you so much. Thank you for having me.
Of course. You
course.
actually just did a recent stream of showing off your entire Wii collection, which apparently is pretty massive. You had to break it into 2 parts, right?
I did. I massively underestimated how long it would take to go through those. I have like somewhere like 180 Wii games, something like that.
Oh my God.
But I did not
Wow.
expect it to take as long as it did.
Is it all shovelware or is it actually good stuff?
No, I try not to get shovelware. Like, there's obviously a couple things in there. Like, I have like a Gold's Gym fitness game and like Flip's Twisted World or something like that. But most of the stuff is pretty good, in my opinion.
Nice.
Nice. Do you have Grill Off with Ultra Hand?
I do on the digital
Nice.
store. Yeah, I was just showing
Hell
off
yeah.
my physical stuff though. I don't have Doc Lewis's Punch Out though. I never got that one.
I never got that
Okay.
either, so I
I
missed
got the
out.
Mario
It's
hat
gone.
instead on Club Nintendo.
I feel special
Okay.
that I actually managed to get that. Doc Lewis's Punch
Yeah.
Out is like my digital crown of my collection. The one thing, you know what I have to ask though? I have to ask this to anybody that collects Wii stuff. Did you manage to get the Punch Out glove that Amazon had for a while?
No, I do not have
Oh
that.
man, I wanted
Was
that
that like a-
so bad.
Was it a pre-order?
No, it was a weird thing where they offered like it was an Amazon specific special edition of Punch Out where they included a signed Little Mac boxing glove. So it was like a 1-to-1 real life. You could actually put it on boxing glove with a fake Little Mac signature on it. And I wanted it so bad and I missed the boat on it and I think it's worth just a ton of money now. It's ridiculous.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, that sounds cool.
Nice. Naveed, I have to ask you: is that a Kirby neck pillow behind you?
It's just a big Kirby.
Okay, it's just a
boy.
big Kirby. Either way, I love it.
It's a Kirby that consumes something. I don't know what it
Yeah.
consumes.
Okay,
He's
Nice.
gonna spit at us anytime now. It's like a camel. You just gotta watch out.
yeah, I feel like it's like Kirby mid-consumption when he's like you've sucked something up, but he can't
Yeah.
actually fly because he's like just I
You
think
know
it's
what
like
I,
that.
I
That's
get from
exactly
that
him.
as
Yep.
I'm not a Kirby expert, but I feel like that is almost perfectly one of the frames that you see when he is, for lack of a better term, expelling something that he's eaten. Like like when he
Yeah.
squishes down and then the star flies out of his butt. Like
Yeah.
that's what I picture when I see that. But I'm not a big Kirby boy. But I will say that it's one of the most cute like Kirby plushes I've ever seen. It has some Snorlax vibes to it for me. I like big chunky boys.
Yeah.
I have a Snorlax plush as well, just like outside.
See, we
in
do
my,
it.
in
Man
my
of
living
culture
area.
right here.
I love this Kirby plush too because it's in like the running pose, so the legs are kind of like offset. So if you look at it from
Oh,
the side,
nice.
it just looks like it's running.
I do feel a little insulted there, Steve, because I've had multiple Kirby's displayed on here. I've had Cupid Kirby, Chef Kirby,
Right.
Sword Kirby, what is it? The other one, Cooking? No, Archer Kirby.
Archer
And then I have
Kirby, yeah.
Mark's, cutest boy of all.
Or it's Cupid Kirby, right?
Listen,
Yeah, Cupid.
I don't need to break down the science again, but fat mascots are better. There's no denying it. I've done research on this.
I share that. Disgust, Derek, because Kirby is my favorite Nintendo character of all time, and I was just thinking. Steve says he's on a Kirby boy, which means that when we are finally all able to get together and do stuff in the same room, we're streaming a Kirby game with you, Steve. It's happening.
Oh, man, I'll
It's
play
gonna
it.
I
happen.
mean,
I'll play it.
the
I
only
don't.
four-player
I don't
one that I can think of offhand is Return to Dreamland. Is there another one?
Star Allies.
Amazing Star Allies, and also Amazing Mirror. But Amazing Mirror is a nightmare of hooking up Game Boy Advance.
Yeah, that's true. I guess Star Allies would be the easiest. Yeah.
But yeah, well, before we get too much further into this, we are, of course, sponsored this episode specifically by The Game Orb. And The Game Orb is a fledgling channel focused mostly on Nintendo content, and it's currently running Let's Plays of Super Mario 3D All-Stars, Splatoon 2, Smash Ultimate, Super Mario 35, I think those are still uploading, and more. So be sure to subscribe to The Game Orb at the link in the description. We've got them past 200 subscribers. They are up to 212 right now, so well on the way to the 250 that we're shooting for now. And, of course, continue to show them the GV Gang's support. But they also want to promote their friend's YouTube channel, Galactic Reaper. And we'll have links to those in the description as well as pinned in the live stream right now. So
they're posting gameplay of Pac-Man 99.
Nice. And Galactic Reaper is actually getting is almost at 50 themselves. They're over halfway there. So that's
hell
good
yeah.
stuff. Good stuff. So with that said, there is a lot of news that happened over the weekend. So let's go ahead and get to that with our first bit of news.
All right.
Amazon has canceled the Lord of the Rings MMO due to a dispute with Tencent, but though it is possible that Tencent might continue to go ahead and make it on their own. This comes via a report via Bloomsburg and Jason Schreier. Basically, just who even remembered that they announced this 2 years ago? Like that's my big question because I
had a vague memory of it.
Like I heard they were like Lord of the Rings canceled. I was like, oh right, that TV show that they're spending a ton of money on. I guess they canceled that out of nowhere. Weird. And then they said MMO. I was like, oh, that was a thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, this is not something I personally feel the loss of. I'm not a big LOTR guy. I'm not a big MMO guy, but I'm sure there are plenty of people who are, hoping this would be a thing, and that's really unfortunate for them. I'm sorry for the loss.
Yeah, I feel like for by and large the ship has sailed for Lord of the Rings content. Like we had Shadow of Mordor, which really kind of brought it back into the public eye, but then Shadow of War wasn't very good, and I think that it would appeal to hardcore fans. And yeah, I'm with you in that. Like if you're a hardcore Lord of the Rings person and you really wanted to play this, cool. But I forgot. I didn't even remember this was a thing at all. So for me, it's not really a loss. But yeah, I mean, it sucks if you were looking forward to this, but Amazon hasn't been able to figure out gaming yet, and I don't know that this would have been the place where they did that.
I think that's the biggest takeaway from this is just Amazon Game Studios as a thing is just kind of a disaster, right? Because they've had multiple games that they've put up, and I think they've like taken down games that they've released. So, and then they've had multiple games that have been canceled. So,
Yeah,
I'm like you guys. I didn't even remember that this MMO was a thing, but I think it could have been pretty big. Maybe. I mean, Lord of the Rings is a big franchise, but yeah, I don't know.
It all depends. It's hard to topple the two big MMOs right now, which is WoW and Final Fantasy 14. Like,
Yeah.
Everybody loves Skyrim, but you don't hear people talking about the Elder Scrolls Online too much. And there's a lot of other smaller ones out there, like I think it's Black Desert Online and a bunch of other stuff. Like there's possibilities here, but it never felt like could be the next big MMO that everybody got into, especially because apparently it had been in development at Amazon Game Studios alongside the China-based Leiyu Technologies Holdings, which is what led to this whole thing because it was purchased by Tencent, and the resulting contract negotiations led to a dispute between Amazon and Tencent that eventually caused the game's cancellation.
Right.
So,
and Amazon themselves never held the rights to the game, according to ZHugeEX on Twitter. So I guess it's not too surprising that things turned out this way, especially as you're saying, Naveed, with how beleaguered Amazon's game studio has been in general. But it's yet another setback, and it's a shame. It would have been interesting to see what would have come of this project potentially.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just don't know if Amazon really knows how to run their game division very well. Like now they have the Luna, right? Which, after what we saw from Stadia, doesn't seem like a very.
They might be double thinking. Maybe that's not such a good idea.
Yeah.
I got into the Luna beta and I tried it, and it had lag that it was just terrible lag. I still stand by the fact that Stadia, from a technological perspective, functions well.
Sure.
I've played probably a couple dozen games on Stadia. I reviewed Stadia back during the press review period, and it worked really well for me. And it works, I've moved house since then, and it still continued to work really well. I think where Google messed up Stadia was the pricing. I think Luna gets that right, but does not nail the technology. And you have to have both of those things for it to work. So, Luna works in a web browser on iOS, and unfortunately that's all I have to test with, really. And I just found it to be unplayably slow. Even on like NES games, they had Contra on there, and I was just like, this runs very badly. I can't I can't play this. I got the Luna controller, but honestly my interest just hasn't been there to even try it, to take that extra step. There's nothing compelling about it. No More Heroes 1 and 2 are on there, and I think the most interesting thing about that is that it means that they coded a PC port. Like it's not right. Yeah, so I don't know. I don't think that Luna's going to catch on. I think Amazon sees money in gaming, which there's tons of money to be had in gaming, but they don't quite understand what it is people want, and they just kind of keep throwing stuff at the wall to see what sticks. And I kind of foresee that the studio will fold before we'll get anything meaningful out of it.
It all depends on how much money Bezos wants to lose. I mean, he can lose a lot and not even notice.
True.
I think I read they were
he
putting
has
in
a game studio.
I think I read they were putting in like $500 million every year into their gaming division. So
God,
they're probably losing a bit of that.
Yeah, but they also own Twitch, so
true. That's a big moneymaker.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like that's where they should probably focus their efforts. I mean, 500 million could drive a lot of improvement at Twitch that frankly needs to happen. Maybe hire some more like moderators that are actually people, but I don't know.
Juan in the chat says, I didn't realize this. They say also the Christian Whitehead versions of Sonic 1 and 2 are on Luna. That seems wrong. Why aren't those on platforms that I'd want to play them on? Yeah, I want to play the Christian Whitehead versions on like anything else, pretty much.
I hear those are like the best versions. Why are they not?
They're amazing. They're I mean, and not to say versions on such, they're great, but the white versions are their own level of just.
All right.
Right. Ash's internet from the beach house is not going well, but at least we got Sonic CD ported.
I love you, Ash, but you are a robot mime.
Is it not happening? Damn it! Sorry, guys.
You're running at a
your sound's working all right, but
right now.
But
okay.
I think you might be a little desynced now, but it's all right.
I can see your eyes.
Either way,
you're back.
I think you're good now. The VOD version will be fine. All right. Let's go ahead and move on to our next bit of news. And Pokemon, of all things, Pokken Tournament is what led to Bandai Namco working on new Pokemon Snap. And in the process of the development of new Pokemon Snap, they actually consulted the original developers. So, yeah, I guess good on Bandai Namco. They said, according to director Haruki Suzaki in an interview, Pokken Tournament utilized Bandai Namco Studios' strengths, and it made Pokemon appealing in a new way. Because of this, we got another opportunity to do something together again, and this led to the development of new Pokemon Snap. We were able to talk to the developers of the original game, and the project started with the involvement of many people. So it's kind of generic there, but it is kind of interesting that like you don't hear people talk about Pokken Tournament too much. It was a good game, not a great single player mode, but a good game. And it even got ported to Switch, but I don't think it got that boost that a lot of other Switch ports got.
I mean,
yeah,
it's an interesting game insofar as it's kind of like Pokemon Cross Tekken. It's a unique take on the franchise, but I think it doesn't do a lot to attract Pokemon players because it doesn't feel like a Pokemon game at all.
Mm-hmm. No, it doesn't. And as good as Pokken Tournament and Pokken Tournament Deluxe are,
Pokemon.
I just couldn't get I don't know. Like, I appreciate the existence of the game. My head would be anywhere close to anything that's not terrible at that game. I was so bad at it, and I don't know. It wasn't for me. It also may have suffered on Switch
because I actually was decent.
You were right, and I remember you saying that.
I had my breaks in, and I could destroy people with that game. Don't play it much anymore, but I was actually pretty decent at it.
As an aside, I really liked the design of the controller they released for that game. The Pokken Tournament controller was actually really nice, really comfortable. Oddly enough, was supposed to be set up to have LEDs in it so that it would glow while you were playing it, and they just removed them from the final product. But I liked the game. I could never beat. I kept trying to beat Shadow Mewtwo the very first time he shows up in arcade, and I could never ever win. I'd get so close, and I just couldn't actually cinch the victory. I'd choke every time. But I always wondered what happens if you beat him in arcade mode, like the very first time he comes up. But
it's interesting that Pokken Tournament Deluxe didn't benefit from the same, jump to Switch that so many other Wii U ports have. And part of me wonders if the reason for that is because it came out in that kind of early Switch phase where people were just kind of waiting for Smash, right? And I remember when Pokken Tournament Deluxe was revealed at E3, and it was the first time anybody had seen it, and so much of the chatter around that was like, yeah, that's cool, but where's Smash? And so I wonder if that had a chilling effect on the appeal of Pokken Tournament Deluxe.
I mean, I would say the problem isn't so much that people were waiting for Smash, because I think Smash fans still buy plenty of other games, right? Like they're big spenders by and large for the most part. I think the issue is that it's based on a franchise that is nothing like that. You know, Pokemon is a JRPG series at its core, and JRPG fans and fighting game fans, there's overlap, but not like it's not one of those things where you'd be like, well, obviously these RPG fans are going to want to buy this 3D arena fighter. Like, that's just not really something that translates one-to-one. And so I think you have a lot of Pokemon fans that probably saw it and were like, yeah, no, not interested. Especially because, you're talking about a series where you have 800 plus creatures and a fighting game where you have the tiniest, like infinitesimally small fraction thereof to choose from.
Right.
So 90% of people's favorite Pokemon just isn't in the game.
How much DLC was there for Pokken Tournament? Because like I have a lot of Switch games, but Pokken Tournament DX is actually one of the ones I don't have from Nintendo, and I didn't purchase it just because like
Was there
I don't think there was any
I don't think
DLC.
they
It added
ever
new
really-
content
Yeah.
for Deluxe. I think you got the
Pokken Tournament came out,
Archer Owl as a new
Yeah.
character.
Right,
Decidueye.
Decidueye.
Yeah, Pokken came
Decidueye.
out at a time where Nintendo was just sending me everything, whether I asked for it or not. And I don't think I got anything for Pokken from them. So I think if there was DLC, it's minimal.
There is DLC. It's called the DLC Battle Pack. I guess there were two of them. DLC Pack
wow.
1 and Pack 2. I completely forgot about this.
Yeah.
Let's see what they include. Pack 1 included Aegislash, I think. Aegislash is a playable
right.
Pokemon.
Nice.
And then Rayquaza and what's his face? The fake wannabe Pikachu. I can't remember his name.
Ditto.
Mimikyu?
Or no,
Mimikyu.
Mimikyu.
Yeah,
Oh,
Mimikyu.
God, I'm like fake
Yeah.
Ditto.
and then Pack 2 added Blastoise as a playable Pokemon, and then Mew and Celebi as assist Pokemon.
I forgot
so,
that
yes.
Blastoise was not in the game. It was DLC.
Right.
Whoops. That's cool, I guess.
Real quick, I have a piece of breaking news.
Ooh.
Ooh, we like breaking news.
Actually, two pieces of breaking news. Coopscrib has edited their pledge and joined the producer tier during the show. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
That happened
Hell
just
yeah.
10 minutes ago. And even more recently, we have had Dennis J. edit their pledge from €5 up to 22, which would bring them up to our executive producer level. So thank you so much. Your name will be in the credits of tonight's episode, the VOD version.
Yes, indeed.
Nice.
Thank
But,
you very much.
Thank you. That's
Can you
awesome.
pop that in
Welcome
there,
to the EP
Ash?
squad.
I will do that. Yeah, problem.
Thanks. Actually,
By the way, I stand corrected. It was Mega Rayquaza added in Wave 1 as an assist
Oh.
Pokemon, not
Oh,
Rayquaza.
okay.
Yeah.
Aldudo mentions that the game sold over 1 million units in 6 months, but also 6 months after the game came out, Smash was announced. So, yeah.
Yeah, that'll
Right,
happen.
right.
I guess it did okay. Just it's not really in the headspace anymore. It's more the thing with how that goes. But I have a feeling people are going to be talking a bit more about new Pokemon Snap, which looks delightful, by the way.
Oh man, I can't wait for it. I'm really excited to try it. I wish though I saw a story that Lawson, which for those of you that don't know is like a very ubiquitous convenience store chain in Japan, like a one on every corner type of situation. Lawson will be getting new Pokemon Snap print stations. So if you live in Japan
That's
and you're
fun.
playing new Pokemon Snap, you can literally relive what we were doing here in the U.S. at Blockbusters and stuff. And
We got to go to the last blockbuster and print it out.
Bend, Oregon.
Exactly.
There you
Man,
go.
There.
I would love it if they did that. If Nintendo was just like one only in Oregon, I would go. I would absolutely go. That would be the first and well, not the only time, but the first time I would do a vlog style video for GVG. If we could go print Pokemon Snap video or photos in Oregon. If you could print a
Right.
video, you'd win a Nobel Prize.
What are your feelings on new Pokemon? I see the Pokeball, so I have to assume you're a bit of a
Yeah.
Pokemon fan there.
Yeah, I've kind of like I've been less excited about the series in general as I've grown older, but I still love Pokemon, and Pokemon Snap is one of my favorite N64 games.
Nice.
I didn't get an N64 until the GameCube was out, and Pokemon Snap was one of the few games I did get. So I'm all about new Pokemon Snap. I can't wait for it. And honestly, I never really put two and two together, but the art styles of Pokken and new Pokemon Snap are kind of similar. They have like a
They
kind of
really
a
are.
flatter look to them with the colors and stuff like that. So yeah, no, I mean this news kind of makes me even more excited knowing that they talked to the original devs and stuff and got some ideas from them. So
it's so interesting because somebody mentioned in the chat before, and I'm sorry, I think it was Odd Doodle, but I can't remember specifically. But I did look up Haruki Suzuki's credits, and he's mostly fighting games because he was director on Soul Calibur 5, then Pokemon Tournament and DX, and now this. He does, game producer and stuff like that on others, but mostly those are his 3 directing credits.
One of the things that I find really interesting is just the level of trust that Nintendo is placing in Bandai Namco. I mean, we've talked about it. I jokingly said that Nintendo should look to acquire them. I don't think Bandai would ever go for that, but man, it is getting. I think they are the coziest third party Nintendo has ever had in their history at this point. I mean, they have been handed blockbuster franchise after blockbuster franchise to work on. Sorry,
Metroid Prime 4 was a Bandai Namco thing first, right? Before they started over.
Originally.
So
I think the only other developer.
Sorry, guys. Ash is on dial up right now.
He seems like it. All right. Well.
If we were still on the old style of naming these episodes, it would definitely be Ash has become a robot. TNT episode.
That's for sure. But either way, I'm down for more new Pokemon Snap. I don't like the name, but hey, bring it on. Let's see if it comes together. And if Nintendo did purchase Bandai Namco, by the way, Steve, that'd be weird because that would mean that's Nintendo publishing stuff like Tekken, Soul Calibur, Dragon Ball.
The funny thing is, if Nintendo somehow snagged the exclusive rights to Dragon Ball games, I would be living my best life, man. Some of my favorite Dragon Ball games are on Nintendo platforms. Like the original SNES or Super Famicom, in this case, Dragon Ball games were incredibly fun. I would love to see a return to like a good... And I absolutely respect and love what Arc System Works has done with Dragon Ball with fighters, but I have like a lot of love for the old school 2D SNES Dragon Ball fighting games. The ones that were more slower, more methodical, that were definitely trying to get some of that Street Fighter money. I liked those games, and I would love to see a return to those. But, I don't think Bandai would be smart not to get fully in bed with Nintendo. Uh-oh. Man, Ash's internet went down so hard, he is... just straight out of here. So just going to transition to the 3-person frame. Godspeed, Ash. We hope your internet comes back.
Doodle mentions that Bandai is legitimately a Disney-level mega corporation in Japan. So Nintendo could never really do that, which makes sense to me.
I mean, Bandai also makes Disney games in Japan. So
there you go.
It's like if Square Enix got acquired, like that rumor that was out.
They were quick to just that's not a thing.
Yeah. I don't think that would ever happen. And Nintendo doesn't really buy a lot of
not really.
Smaller devs. Like Next Level Games was the only one recently. So
exactly. Well, while Ash figures out what's going on, let's go ahead and move on to our next bit of news. So the creative director of Days Gone has vented about the lost sales and players needing to buy games at full price. Now, I didn't use the headline used for a lot of places, but because they were saying how they says gamers should, don't complain if there's no sequel, but if you don't buy it at full price, it's like you read his comments and there's definitely an anger there. I feel like there's definitely I believed in this product, I wanted it from it, but it just didn't come together. He actually he was speaking the game David Jaffe on Jaffe's YouTube show, and he said. He was asked if he heard anything about meaningful uptick of engagement with Days Gone since it was added to the PlayStation Plus collection on PS5. And he said, I do have an opinion on something that your audience may find of interest, and it might piss some of them off. If you love a game, buy it. I can't tell you how many times I've seen gamers say, "Yeah, I got it on sale. I got it through PS Plus, whatever." But how do you know I love a game until you've played it? Jeffrey responded, and he's like, and he's all he said was, "I'm just saying you don't, but don't complain if a game doesn't get a sequel if it wasn't supported at launch." It's like God of War got whatever number of sales at launch, and Days Gone didn't. I'm just speaking for me personally as a developer. I don't work for Sony. I don't know what the numbers are. But then he goes on to mention that there's a lot of piracy for Siphon Filter Dark Mirror. And they were shown torrents where a torrent site had 200,000 copies of Dark Mirror being downloaded. And that's a lot of lost sales for them. So I can see the frustration where he's seeing like this, like, hey, buy our games. But I'm curious what you guys think.
I honestly think this is a really crappy take. I think that don't pirate games. That's a slam dunk. That's easy. If they're available legally at a reasonable price, go get them. That's fair. But telling people that they have to buy your game at full price if they want a sequel and kind of, hand waving away the notion that people should buy games that they're not sure they'll even like for 60 or in the case of next gen now $70. Hell no, that's stupid. Like, one, you don't make your game directly from you don't make your money directly from the consumer. That's not how retail works. They make their money. The developers make their money from stores like GameStop, Target, Amazon, buying up physical copies. They don't get our money. So I'm sorry, if that's pissing you off, David Jaffe. But I don't think that consumers should sight unseen drop $60 or $70 if that's a price they're unwilling to pay. I think you should just, if you're not sure on a game, wait for a sale. So definitely support your developers every time, but just don't rush in paying full price because you think you're going to get a sequel, because at the end of the day, it's not that simple.
On the other side of the coin, I did see, I think it was in that article, they were talking about how Sony has cared so much about like Metacritic and Metacritic averages. And I think that side of like video game reviews and like just putting out video games is really, really unfortunate, because there's so much stock put into this Metacritic average. And I think Days Gone was one of those games that it performed like reasonably well in reviews, but that might have definitely caused sales to fall. But yeah, I don't know, like the actual take of you need to buy our game for $60, that's something I totally don't agree with.
Yep. Welcome back, Ash.
Hey, sorry about that, guys. I think our internet actually completely died for a second. I haven't mentioned this on the show yet, but I'm up visiting my parents up at the Northern California coast, and the internet's a bit spotty up here. So I think that's what happened, but I should hopefully be good now and not sound like a robot. So sorry for the interruptions, y'all.
No worries. We were just talking about the Days Gone piece of news and the sort of tricky part of all of that. And the thing is that Days Gone looked like a okay game. I never did really try it myself or anything like that, but we all remember that one press conference where it was just fighting zombies, that whole horde of zombies running through the whole the garage or whatever for, what was it, 10 minutes, just shooting zombies constantly until every single one was mowed down. And it got a little blasé. It's like, okay, we get it. It's just every little talking point that you've seen time and time again in one game. It's just like, all right.
I mean, I remember I remember exactly what I said that day at the E3 press conference, because I believe that's the game they ended with. And I felt quite disappointed. I remember exactly saying, well, Days Gone and so am I, because it just did not do anything for me. And that makes it ironic that my internet kicked me out of the show during Days Gone, right? But there's an element of truth, I think, to what John Garvin said in terms of, it's straight facts. If you don't buy a game and it doesn't make money and it's not successful, there's probably not going to be a sequel to it. However, I think the way he delivered that point could have been better and probably could have reached more people if he hadn't done it in such a brash way. But the core of what he's saying is true. If you want a sequel to something, you're going to have to buy it, hopefully at full price. But it's not as simple as that either.
It just comes across as bitter the way he said it.
Yeah,
Exactly.
And I think it probably is bitter because he also confirmed later in the interview that he has departed from Ben's studio. It was actually based on his personality rather than anything to do with anything with Days Gone. He said it was 6 years of crunch, working on it hard, and there's nonstop pressure with milestones, profitability, people management, and it's a lot easier when it's a smaller studio. But with 100-person studio that he's working with now, because Ben was working on much smaller games before this. I think it was like they went from PSP to this to PS4. That's a hell of a jump. And he actually was sent to classes, to training to try to become a better people person, and here's how you do this, and go out to lunch and be a better director. And he admitted himself he just kind of sucked at it. So
that definitely comes through in his quote.
This personality,
right?
Yeah. The other thing I want to point out though, real quick before we move on, is that money plays a lot into sequels. There's also the Metacritic aspect of things, but games sometimes, even unsuccessful games can sometimes spawn a sequel. It's almost like there's no way to read tea leaves in this type of scenario, because you never know when someone's going to say, you know what, this game didn't meet any of our expectations, but we really think that we could do something really special with a second game in the series. And sometimes games you never thought would get a sequel end up there somehow. I wouldn't write off a Days Gone 2 yet, especially, with in light of all the news we've gotten. I wouldn't say it'd happen anytime soon. But I would be surprised if I bet Sony put it on PS Plus for a reason, not just to give people something nice, right? No corporation ever does something just to be nice. There's always some motivation to it. And I would bet that Sony is paying really close attention to how many new PS5 owners download and how much they play Days Gone, because when you download a game, or really when you use a console at all, Sony knows exactly how much we're playing, exactly how much time we spend on each game. I guarantee you they can tell you, if they're really interested, what parts of a game most people drop off during and which ones keep people playing. They have that data. We give it to them. It's in the agreements we accept when we turn these things on for the first time. So I would bet that someone is gathering data on how all these games that they put in that PlayStation collection are doing, and that will at some point factor into whether or not we get a sequel to any of them, not just Days Gone. But I guarantee you that is kind of a Trojan horse for which one of these gets a next gen, sequel.
Yep. Well, let's go ahead and move on to a little bit of happier news. And Lego Luigi has leaked. Now, this was getting talked about even before these pictures came out, because there was a firmware update to Lego Mario, and he started talking about Luigi. Funny that. Well, now we actually have a look at the set, which is the Luigi starter course, and has a pink Yoshi, a Skull Goomba, and Boom Boom. And it's Lego Luigi,
Okay.
Love this. I don't want it. I don't want it. But
me neither.
Luigi deserves his shine.
He does.
Right.
I just want to say, I think it's wild that we even have the concept of firmware updates for Legos.
I know.
That aspect of this product is what has me interested, but I'm still not going to go out and buy it. I don't have the room for Legos, and they're expensive, but it's still a cool thing.
Yeah, it is. Yeah. Luigi deserves it. There, as Steve was saying, I don't want this myself. I still want the Lego Sonic set way more than I want either of these Lego Mario or Luigi sets. But Luigi deserves it, and if Mario's gonna have one, Luigi should also have one. I just wish it was like, I wanted to say Lego Super Luigi, right? I want it to be like a Year of Luigi style branding, where it isn't Lego Super Mario Luigi Edition. It's just Lego Super Luigi. Come on.
Yeah, I get why they're not doing that, but I'm sure Lego only has rights to use certain trademarks of Nintendo's or whatever. Right. But this is like a no-brainer. All they're doing is taking the exact same stuff that's in Mario. He's the exact same dimensions and just one, I guess, uploading Luigi firmware to it, which is a weird sentence to have to say out loud.
I guess. I mean,
then,
the thing is, they can encourage kids to get the Mario one if they have some sort of interaction together, where give him a mansion, a Lego mansion to go through, and have him go Mario.
I would love that.
So
I think that
Mario.
I wonder how they
Thank
do
you.
react. And this is going to sound terrible, but I have to point it out. Mario's sensor for interacting with other Legos is in his crotch. So I'm just saying, if they have some kind of interaction together, hopefully it's a little more wholesome than the only thing I can picture.
Gives a whole new meaning to the move named Green Missile from Smash, huh?
I mean, maybe he has like a QR code on top of his hat. Oh God, I don't want this to happen. But
have any of you actually used any of this Mario Lego stuff yet, or is it?
I have. I reviewed both the Lego NES and the Lego Mario set during my time at Game Explain. It's fine
as a playset. It's a playset. It's not the traditional Lego that we're used to.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's more like a novel kind of thing. Like, oh, hey, you can use Mario with like I reviewed because the Lego NES, you can put Mario into it and it makes Mario sounds. It was interesting, but he uses his crotch camera to read a QR code inside the Lego NES. And I was just like, you know what? This is like cool. And I would consider myself a pretty big Mario fan. I love Mario games. And I do get various Mario items outside of the games. Like I own a pair of Piranha Plant slippers. My favorite slippers I own. I definitely am a 38-year-old man that owns Mario pajamas. I do not want these though. I just have zero desire to actually own them. And once I actually had and used one, that didn't change for me at all. I was just like, this is kind of cool, but it's way more structured than Lego is supposed to be, I think.
Yeah, I'm wondering if this is the direction that Lego is going to take in the future with more of their products in terms of the electronic and physical aspect of it.
I hope not.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of this for Lego. I like all I want is Peach's Castle, Bowser's Castle, and an airship.
Yes.
I would be tempted by Luigi's Mansion. Like if it was an actual mansion, I would be tempted by that.
Yep.
I would be tempted by a subcon set. Not gonna lie. If they ever, I think it's too deep a cut for Lego. But if they did a subcon set, I might have to go for that.
Yeah, all I know is I'm looking at a space on my roof. I just want to hang the Lego airship from the roof, from the ceiling, I should say, and make that all. That'd be so cool, especially because Mario 3 is the best Mario.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. I like Mario 3 probably. Well, there's separate rankings for 3D and 2D Mario in my mind.
Right.
In the 2D Mario ranking, I would say Mario 3 takes it for me as well.
Oh wow. Juan says Rosalina's spaceship, Delfino Plaza, Io Delfino set from Legend of Jess.
See, that's
Rosalina's spaceship would be cool.
There's a lot of cool sets they could make, and now we're just doing levels where they like score points, get coins. It's all pretend, which granted is always the way with kids' toys, but I don't know. As an old man, I want to build Lego.
Yeah, see,
sets.
like I want the more traditional Lego sets where we get something from the games given physical form. I like that idea of Luigi's Mansion. That would probably be my top set if I could get that.
Mm-hmm.
The Delfino set sounds really cool though, because you could get like separate parts of the set, connect them together, and there's the Ferris wheel area,
Pita Park.
The Pita Park, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
that
man.
would be awesome.
Damn, there's so many.
It's
It's funny, like on like when you just start talking about Lego Mario, I don't really care about having a Lego Mario set, but there's so many good ideas for other sets that I would want that they'll probably never do.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
real quick before we move on. We have one more piece of breaking news.
Ooh.
Hell yeah.
Kotar
Jeez.
Peck has updated their pledge from $5 at the live audience tier all the way up to $25, joining the EP squad. Welcome aboard,
Wow.
Kotar. Thank you so much. We're excited to have you.
Thank you.
Yeah, seriously.
Thank you
Thanks.
so much.
Crazy. All right. Well, with that said, let's go ahead and move on to our next one. We talked about Mario. We got to talk about his rival now. And new footage of Sonic 2's filming has appeared on Instagram with, I guess, a little bit of stunt work, some other set pictures of Green Hills. And the thing that stuck out to me was they, where they're performing the one stunt, it's the third that come up. There's a store behind them, Mean Bean Coffee.
I love it. That's perfect.
Beautiful.
It's perfect. Yeah.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's like one of those low hanging fruit things, but it's just perfect.
The thing I find interesting is that it confirms we're returning to Green Hills for the sequel, because we all kind of thought maybe it'll take place in the world of Sonic a bit more like whatever that alien world he's from in the movies. So I guess that means I'm positing here that Robotnik finds a way to return not just from the planet he's on, but to Green Hills specifically.
I guess so.
Yeah.
And as Kotar Peck has mentioned, and I was going to get to that one as well, there's other set pics of like military hardware, including a tank and a helicopter. But the helicopter is what stood out to a lot of people because it has two things. One, SA2, Sonic Adventure 2, so you got that reference in there. And then on its which is more importantly, its logo. It's the gun logo from Sonic Adventure 2. So Gun is going to be in this one, which I did not expect Gun to show up already.
Yeah, that's interesting. I wonder if it'll be like an overt thing, or well, no, because it's also the gun logo is also on the tank. I'm looking at it now, so yeah, I would argue that we're probably going to see something overt, like they'll reference guns specifically within the film.
Are you a Sonic fan, Naveed?
I'm not the biggest Sonic fan, but I've seen the Sonic movie, and I thought it was a surprisingly fun film. Like it's obviously geared toward children, but I think the best part about these movies is just the references. Like one of the funniest parts in the first Sonic movie was just that dude who was looking for Sonic, and he had the picture of the really crudely drawn Sonic from online memes and everything.
So much fan service.
Yeah. So that's what I'm looking forward to. I'm definitely looking forward to this sequel film.
Same.
But
yeah, this is one of those sequels that I think really has genuine potential to be even better than the first movie. And the first movie, I think, surprised most people by how good it was. Not amazing, but it was a good kids movie and a good Sonic movie, I think. And I think, the sequel has every reason that it could actually outshine the original. And we'll see. I really hope it does.
So if we're getting Gun, does that mean we're getting Shadow? Are they putting Shadow in already? Because we talked about maybe Metal Sonic being a thing, but maybe they'll just skip that and like have Robotnik develop Shadow instead.
That would be really cool.
I hope so, man.
If Shadow was in this movie, people would go nuts.
Yeah. I mean, Tails is already here, and that's already cause for celebration. So if they add, we know we're getting Knuckles as well. They add Shadow too. That's a lot of new blood, man, for just the second movie, but I'm here for it.
Yeah. I think I'm going to be honest. I don't think Shadow's coming. Not in this movie. Could be wrong.
It feels more like set up.
Yeah, I agree.
I think they want to avoid the Spider-Man 3 problem of having too many new characters introduced in one movie, where it's hard to keep track of what the hell's going on.
Agreed.
The things they could do with Sonic was by putting Shadow in there. I feel like the third movie is where we'd get Amy and Shadow.
That would be cool.
Yeah, like I was going to say, it would be weird if we got Shadow before Amy. I mean, I feel like Amy deserves a bit better than that. A lot better than that, really.
I feel like Amy and Shadow would be good to introduce together. You could kind of pretend that Sonic, doesn't know that there are other hedgehogs like him within the universe, and then he meets two of them in one movie. I think that would be a really cool plot thread to pull. But yeah, I'm thinking we'll see Knuckles, and he'll be kind of the pseudo protagonist or antagonist of the movie, and then we'll Robotnik or Eggman will come back, and we'll learn more about what he's been up to, and he somehow put Knuckles up to attacking Sonic or something. That's my hope. I want Knuckles to be the bad guy for like the first half of the movie.
Yeah,
I would be surprised if he wasn't.
Yeah, there's definitely a level where I think they could go too far with like too many characters, like you guys said. But I would love to see like more characters like Shadow and Knuckles in there.
Yeah,
absolutely.
All right. Well, let's go ahead and continue our Sega news, as this one's just kind of weird.
Yeah.
It's nothing like crazy in the grand scheme of things, but it's just one of those fun things. It's like, oh, that's neat, because Sega is reportedly launching a new Pokemon arcade game in Japan. Now, it's not really a game in the video game sense. It's a metal game, which basically you're probably familiar with theirs. They're basically like the coin pushing games that we've seen out here in the West,
Oh.
where you pop a coin in, you launch it in. If you can get it, it will pop out more, and you push it out and you get some prizes or whatever. And that's all it is. It's just Sega developing it, and it's Pokemon themed. And they've done a few of these in the past. Likely not going to come out to the US or anything like that. But it's just like Sega makes Pokemon game. You're like, okay, I got to see what this is all about. So
I want to know what this name is all about. Pokemon Cologalina. Cologalina.
Yeah, I'm impressed you
sounds like
it.
Well, it sounds like a sickness. Like, oh man, I just went to the doctor today. I got a really bad case of cologalina, like a colon problem or something. I don't know.
I don't get it. Yeah, but I think it's interesting that I don't know how many arcade games Sega has made with Nintendo, but I know they've had a long partnership, right? Even going all the way back to F-Zero AX and GX, where they worked together on that arcade machine. So it's cool to see that they're still kind of working together on stuff like this, because I had no idea.
Yeah, it's a cool cabinet. I'll say that. There's nice artwork of Pikachu, Mewtwo. It's cool, but the
thing is the hard thing for me about this is that it just reminds me of something we were talking about on Friday in our last episode, and that of course was F-Zero maybe not being dead. And so Sega teaming up to make a Pokemon arcade game just reminds me of Sega, an Amusement Vision making the awesome F-Zero AX, and how I want that again. I want another arcade experience like that again. But Pokemon metal pushing game, that's cool, I guess. It's great that it's happening, but it just reminds me of things that I want more, which is what's harder about it.
It also it also makes me just wish the arcade scene in America was bigger. Like,
that'd be nice.
That sure would be nice.
As Rob Barman X mentions and is in the article, it's not the first time Sega has made a Pokemon game, because back in 2012, there was Pokemon Metal World that launched in the region to celebrate Pokemon Black and White, which basically same thing.
Yeah,
right.
So
it's interesting, but kind of like a non-story kind of thing for us, right? I agree though that the Western,
it's more of like that's cute.
Yeah, the Western arcade scene, we'll never see a game like this, because it's kind of pointless. Like these are things that in the West are relegated to like Chuck E. Cheese's and places like that.
Boardwalks.
Yeah, I would love to see the Western arcade scene, gain a resurgence of sorts. But I guess when consoles became powerful past a certain point, people just started playing at home more. And I think that unlike, in Japan, there's a social aspect to going to the arcade and competing against other people, where I think that in America, it's a competition is honestly just a bit more toxic when it comes down to it. Like people in Japan are very respectful of people they're competing against. You don't hear a lot of shit talk during, in public arcades and stuff like that. Whereas in America, I remember being a kid in the late 80s and hearing my first curse words in arcades, being like, oh, these guys are angry, So I get why it happened the way it did with American arcades. They were definitely not the safest of places at times. And I think the issue we have now is that arcades are mostly associated in the West with children as a children's activity. And I honestly just wish we'd get more of like the Dave and Buster's style barcade type of experience, where I think the issue we have is that arcades or barcades themed toward adults typically lean very heavily into retro arcade games.
Yep.
You don't see many of them with modern arcade games, and that's unfortunate. Like I said, if you want to play a modern arcade game, your best bet is Dave and Buster's, and even then it's kind of Like I don't like
Yeah.
Dave and Buster's. So
there are very few places to go for that. I've been to a few, and they're also usually combined with like a bowling alley or something like that, and karaoke. So I've been able to play like the Luigi's Mansion arcade game a couple times because they import that kind of stuff, and they have like the giant Mario versus Sonic at the Olympic Games arcade cabinet. Like they'll bring that one over, but yeah, you never see like a lot of the cooler stuff.
I'd like to see Round One continue to proliferate because Round One is like a more, it's a Japanese company, and thus the games included in its arcade centers are, tend to lean more into exclusive Japanese titles and just, weirder and rarer stuff than you would see at a Dave and Buster's. And so at the same time, though, while I do want to continue to see Round Ones proliferate, even the coolest Round One, as an arcade rat, someone who grew up in arcades, played a lot of DDR in arcades, even the coolest Round One is never going to quite compare to, like a little local seedy hole-in-the-wall arcade. Not seedy as in dangerous, but just kind of has that feeling to it. And I'm sure anybody who knows the kind of arcade I'm talking about knows exactly what I mean.
I agree with you. My late 80s stomping ground was called Electric Ladyland, and it was in Lancaster, California. And it was the coolest damn arcade. I swear, it had like the cheesy carpet and the dude walking around with like the hip mounted coin dispenser.
The hip coins.
Ah, man. I miss that.
I didn't have an arcade growing up, but I do remember like there was like the best arcade is like ones you see at a movie theater now, where it's like one pinball machine and two really crappy arcade games. But there was, here's really dating myself, when Hills existed, if anybody remembers that chain store.
Hills. I don't know if I recognize
that. Might be an East Coast thing.
It might be an East Coast thing. It got bought out eventually by Walmart. I think that's what eventually replaced it. They had a little section there where kids could get popcorn, but for whatever reason, they also had Mortal Kombat 2 there, which is the first time I saw Mortal Kombat in action. So like, all right, that's the extent of my arcade knowledge as a kid. But as far as those weird like Japanese arcade games, I only went to MomoCon once, and the one time I went, they had an arcade section. A lot of cons do that now, but one of the coolest ones I saw was basically table flip the game, where you just meant to stress relief. You put the coins in and you just flip the table. They give you like a scenario where you're at work or at wherever, and you flip it, and the harder you flip it, the more damage is done and you get more points, and that's it. That's all you do is just flip the table.
That arcade game is great because one, the art style is very reminiscent of like WarioWare. It has like a 2D, and the thing is, as someone who fortunately has studied Japanese and can read it, like I know one specific scenario. I've never played the game, but I've seen it in video, and you're like a salary man wearing your suit and tie, and you've got like a bad comb over, and like your wife and kids are coming in just saying inane like annoying shit to you the whole time, and you just choose the timing to be like like flip the table and get out of there. I'm like I love the vibe of that game so much, and I desperately want to play it someday.
Me too.
I'm jealous.
It was at a MagFest one year that I went, and I could never play it because just there was a huge line.
Oh, there was a massive line for it. The best thing to me was that the first time I saw somebody play it, it was a guy. And, a bit stronger build than I was. But he did the whole thing and flipped it. It was like, okay, that's impressive. Behind him was a girl, half his size. And she got up there, and I think her situation was she was working retail, like at a McDonald's, and annoying customers coming up. And she must have fed into something because she was just screamed, flipped it, and it got she doubled the point score of that dude before her. And it was amazing. Like she had issues to work out, and that arcade game was helping her.
I love it.
Yeah, that's great.
Ditto M in the chat says, as the resident youngin in the chat, I don't see the point in going somewhere else to play video games when I can do that at home. And from your perspective, I get what you're saying, but like all I can say is that the vibe is different, and there will always be games you can play in the arcade that you can't quite play at home, right? And just it's a different vibe, and maybe you had to grow up with it. Maybe it's not something you can get if you just go to an arcade and you don't. Maybe that's something that has to be ingrained, but
one thing
it's different, man.
Say that helped is as a gamer way back then. You have to remember, arcades were popular before the advent of the internet. So a lot of folks that played games, one, it was definitely a stigmatized hobby. Like, you felt like you were an outcast or a nerd, or you didn't belong because you loved video games. And that was what you saw in your day-to-day life and on television. Like, every gamer was like this Coke bottle glasses, 96-pound dripping wet weakling who was always picked on. And because of that, like, people would make fun of you if you were out loud saying how much you love video games in public. And you went to the arcade and you realized, like, hey, there's loads of normal people that love video games. And that was your only way of really connecting with that. You know, to realize, like, no, gamers aren't these basement dwelling, weird, sweaty, awful people like TV makes you think. They're just normal people who have the same hobby we do. You know, these days with the internet, it's very easy to realize, like, yeah, gaming's a thing and people enjoy it. And not everybody that plays games is some awkward, you know, man-child. I mean, I am. But
right.
Well, and above and beyond just that base appeal, there's also, like, you know, the additional aspect of, like, if you're in the fighting game community or if you're in the rhythm game community, like, even as someone who's like a casual fighting game player, it's different going up and quartering up on an arcade machine and playing with someone right next to you and feeling the rush of victory or the sting of defeat. It just doesn't translate online when you're playing by yourself online against somebody on your TV. Same thing with rhythm games like DDR. As a big DDR player back in my college and high school days, you can play on a soft pad at home and that's fine. It's good for exercise. But when you're playing on a hard pad and you're good and you're drawing a crowd, the rush you feel from that, it is pure adrenaline, and you just can't get it at home. It's just different.
Yeah.
Totally.
One thing.
I think another.
Else... Oh, go ahead, please.
I was just going to say one thing people don't think about. Also, is back in the day, arcades. That's where you went to see the cutting edge. That's when graphics were at. That's where graphics were at their peak. You couldn't get that at home unless you had like a Neo Geo AES at home. That was like the only system where you could get true arcade perfect.
Oh yeah,
ports.
You were always looking when a port came out, like which one had the least compromises to it. Like where did they cut the fewest corners to get?
And I was so unaware of the arcade scene. It's like, yeah, that looks fun. I had no idea it was like the arcade version was looked so much better until I think I played. I went on a trip and the hotel had TMNT 2 basically, but you know the arcade version. I'm like, holy crap, this looks amazing.
Yeah,
just blew my mind.
And it's a 4-player, you know, and that's another thing is like, there's nothing quite like the feeling of like, you know, you see a TMNT machine, 3 of the turtles are taken, or maybe they're not, but you were able to get your favorite turtle and, you know, you're with other people. And it's just like, you're there's an unspoken alliance. You're all playing together to try to beat the game. It's obviously munching all your quarters because those are made to just drain your money. But there's just like an unspoken alliance, this camaraderie, complete strangers. It's not something you can really recreate outside the arcade.
Yep.
Well, let's go and move on to our next game because there's another experience that was just sort of unique to gaming that see if they can capture again.
All right.
So the developers of Celeste have revealed a teaser image of and their name of their next game. It's Earthblade, though they don't have a actual release date set yet. I think they said 20XX. So,
nice.
You know, sometime. But it looked, you know, there's not really that much to go on, but it's, you know, extremely okay games making a new game. And these guys are 2 for 2 so far. So yeah, I'm interested.
Same. I mean, you had me at Celeste.
Exactly.
You know, Celeste is incredible. So that I'm excited about this just based on my love for Celeste because it's such a special singular experience in games. So I can't wait to find out more.
Yeah, I'm a huge Celeste fan as well. And did you guys click on the link to see like the poster art as well? There's a clip of music they also posted from the game. And the music sounds fantastic. It's like, it's got like a great atmosphere, but also like it's got other vibes to it as well. It kind of reminds me almost something from Nier Automata. A little bit.
Oh, I hear it. And the composer is Lena Raine, who did Celeste as well. And so, I mean, she obviously fantastic. And you know that just based on the Celeste soundtrack. So I'm into this, whatever it ends up being.
I mean, I do have to point out, being the name of our channel, that they dubbed this a vibe reveal for the game as well. Which,
yeah.
I mean, come on, guys. You could have asked us first. I'm just kidding. We don't own vibes, but I do love the I do love the general vibe of this. I haven't gotten to listen to the music yet, but I did see the poster art. I love the fact that they're really upfront with the fact that they have iterated on their prototype for this game a few times, and they kind of realized initially they overshot their own capabilities, and they're like, okay, we need to reel ourselves back in to make this game actually happen. And I can definitely identify with that. So I think it's cool. I'm excited to see what they did. Celeste, I never finished it. It was just too hard. But
I beat the main story. I never went back to do the B and C sides. But
Me neither. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I got what I wanted
Oh, yeah.
out of the game with just that core experience.
Yeah. And Naveed, I definitely hear what you're saying. I just played a little bit of the music, and it absolutely gives me Nier Automata vibes immediately.
Yep. Yeah. I also love the direction they're taking. I guess they said it's going to be sort of like an action adventure, 2D action adventure game, and the logo itself, I think, is beautiful. It gives me huge like Super Nintendo, Super Famicom vibes. Almost reminds me of like Soul Blazer. So if it's anything like Soul Blazer, like Illusion of Gaia type thing, I'd be so down.
Did you just name drop one of my favorite games of all time, in Illusion of Gaia? I love you. You and I are not best friends. You don't have a say in the matter. I'm sorry, I don't make the rules. But I'm just happy to always meet other Illusion of Gaia fans. Hell yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
Nice.
Now it is gorgeous.
Yeah, it's
Nice.
very good.
Jeez. Yeah, I am so down for this. It's going to be a while till we get it, but
Can't wait.
I like this. I like this sort of upfront idea of how they went through things, and like, how they were like, no, we're going to be faster this time between Towerfall and Celeste. We can do it this time. And like, oh god, it's happening again, because they want to try to find that right balance between the unknown and their comfort zone. They want to try something new, but they also don't want to go straight too far. And I think that's why they've iterated so many times. And I think they can pull it off, because, man, I am so down for whatever this ends up being.
Same.
Yeah.
I mean, again, just the pedigree here alone means I'm excited whatever this turns out to be.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So, yep. It would not surprise me if we got this in a future Indie World, or even just a main direct.
Yeah.
I think
can
Indie
see
World
that
is a
happening.
shoe-in, but yeah, possibly a main direct as well. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely.
So, all right. Well, let's go ahead and move on to the last bit of news tonight. And it's a big one, because
This is big.
Sony, thank God, has reversed their decision on shutting down the PSN store for the PS3 and Vita. PSP is still closing down, but no longer are they shutting down the PS3 and Vita stores, thanks to all the pushback. Because it's interesting that Jim Ryan wrote this as well. I guess he is the president and CEO, but he's just basically like trying to make his excuses, but like, okay, we made a mistake. We're going to reverse course in that. But yeah, you still only have until July 2nd to get anything on the PSP that you still want.
Now there is
So-
some question around that, because you can buy PSP games on the Vita store as well. So will you still be able to buy PSP content on the Vita store? In which case, I mean, cool. Like that's that's a net positive. But and I would say that the PSP, understandably, it's pretty long in the tooth at this point. I think it's okay to
Yeah.
retire something that old, whereas the Vita and the PS3, I mean, they're still older machines, but they feel too recent to do this.
Yep.
Right.
Yeah, and
Right.
I think
And I
the
mean,
other-
yeah.
The other question was like, are the cross-play titles still going to work with the PSP as well, moving forward? Because I believe there are a few of those, right? Where you could buy like a PS1 classic and play it on the PSP and the Vita or something like that.
That is a really good question.
So
I
who
would
knows what's going to
think
happen
that you
there?
could at least purchase a game on PS3 and then transfer it to your PSP, I would hope. I
Yeah,
would
that's
hope that you can
that's
do
what
that.
I would assume.
Yeah. But you just can't buy it natively from the PSP.
Right.
That's a really,
There's a lot
really
of
good question
PSP
to
games
ask.
I've missed out on over the years, though. Like I've not played the Daxter games. I haven't played. There's a lot of RPGs on there. Like the PSP has a lot of great games, so it is a shame that we're losing that. And yeah, those prices are definitely going to go up.
I will say I'm about to go buy Crisis Core, because I don't think I ever finished it. But
Oh, nice. You should, yeah. Evernight and Sci-Fi Lullabies in the chat bring up a good point. Evernight says they reversed this after plenty of people already panic bought some of the games that were disappearing. And Sci-Fi followed that up by saying the cynical part of me wonders if this was all planned to panic people into spending money before they, quote unquote, couldn't anymore, when they were always going to keep them up, but that's just me. No. I could see why, the cynical part of me could see why that could be a possibility, but I do. This is Jim Ryan, right? I mean, this is, we know how he feels about old games that apparently nobody wants to play. I do think that they truly intended to do this, and that they were surprised by the backlash, even though they shouldn't have been.
If they wanted to do this like purposefully, they would have waited until close to like whenever they were planning to close down the store, like in July or something like that. But I was absolutely one of the people just last week went on the PlayStation 3 store, grabbed like $70 to $80 worth of stuff that I didn't have and I wanted. I don't like regret that at all, because I'm never going to find like a Tron Bond physically or anything like that. So I wanted to pick that up, but they got me with it. So
yeah.
I was going that whole series, games that you might want to look into and how much they are on eBay.
Yep.
And that was sort of using that own research as like, okay, here's a shopping list, here's a budget. When I'm ready, let's go ahead and buy a bunch of stuff, but it just didn't come to that yet. I should probably still do that, because there's a lot of great RPGs on this store that you're just not going to get for cheap no matter what.
Yeah. I think that, this was something that Sony absolutely did not expect. They didn't expect backlash. They thought people are too focused on the PS5 for them to really care about the PS3 and the Vita being, taken offline essentially. And I think that, Sony realizes that, their goodwill can only carry them so far. And, frankly, people were pinning this squarely on Jim Ryan, the person at the top. And I mean, being the CEO of a mega global corporation or whatever the hell does not mean that you always have a thick skin and can deal with criticism. And frankly, if it means that it gets him to reverse dumb shit like this, cool. I'm very happy.
Yeah. I mean, he had a quote right there so people could target him with "Nobody plays old games anymore. Who cares about old games anymore?" Well, guess what?
Well, a lot of people.
Yeah. Dennis J brings up a good point, saying also, who knows for how long they will keep them up, though. Foreseeable future can mean anything. And I read that. When I read that, I was like, foreseeable future, what exactly does that mean? And I wonder if this is just something they're going to kind of shelve until maybe they have a little less negative attention. Because you remember, this also all happened. It came down at the same time as Sony shuttering a lot of their Japanese development operations, and the Last of Us being remade already, and them refocusing completely on Western development, which is also pissing off a lot of PlayStation fans. So I wonder if all that was just a bit too much at the same time, and maybe they're just pushing this off a little bit until they don't have so much negative attention on them.
They're definitely just pushing it off for a while, right? We don't know how long.
Yeah.
There will come a day when they take down both of these stores.
Yep.
My hope is that this taught them a valuable lesson of the value of these games. Because if I were Jim Ryan and I were sitting there thinking, oh wow, he clearly got the message loud enough to say, okay, let's not close it now. But I hope behind the scenes, as any businessman or business person would do, he thought, man, people still buy this old stuff. We should find a way to sell it on the current hardware. Right. Because that is the obvious step you take. Like, if they tell me we're still going to shut down, like if this announcement had been, we're still shutting down the PS3 store, but we're making all that content available on PS5 within 6 months of us closing the store down, I'd say, you know what? Great. I'll go buy it at the PS5 store if I want it still. Because honestly, that's how I'd rather have it. I'd rather that these games continue to be made available on whatever the latest and greatest hardware is, so that I can have them, just like with my Steam library. I can buy a game in 2013, buy a new PC 8 years later, and still have access to all that stuff. That is what I think these platform holders need to recognize. Like, if I want to buy Tron Bond digitally, I want to know that when my PlayStation 6 shows up, that I can still play that game. I mean, yeah, I know that it's work to write emulators. Nothing is free, but I guarantee you they'll make that investment back hundreds of times over if they just make those games available across generations of platforms.
But who would want to play these games, Steve? Come on.
Not Jim Ryan. But
Yeah.
You do have to wonder how much money Sony made by people panic buying like this, because I was planning on it.
I'm very curious.
I was too, man. I was thinking
that might also have been another reason for the decision.
Oh, it absolutely money factored into it for sure. I mean, it's a good PR move and one that'll make them money, because they'll still have people will continue to panic buy even now. They'll just say, oh, well, like me, they'll say it's going down someday, so I better get that stuff now, or I already dug out my PS3 to do it, so I'm going to carry all the way through and finish.
Sony was already sort of like shutting down certain things beforehand, like the DLC opportunities and things like that, is like, or updates. If you hadn't fully updated, it's like, no.
Griff, the Wii U store does still work. Yeah, it's still up.
Yeah.
You can only download your games, though, that you own, not purchase stuff. Sorry, it was Wii U. I'm thinking of the Wii. Sorry.
Yeah. Trust me, if I still regret some of the things I failed to buy on the Wii. I got some stuff when I was ending, but I didn't think of it all. So I was like,
yeah. I will say, going back to the PS3 and Vita stuff, like as someone who collects games, I consider myself a collector. Like, I really do hope, at least in the short term, some of these prices start coming back down for the PS3 and PS1 games and stuff like that. Like, games like Folklore, like 3D Dot Game Heroes, they've gone into hundreds already.
Thank God I have 3D Dot Game Heroes physically.
I do too, yeah.
I do too. Yeah.
I got that game real cheap, and I remember I made Cloud with a Buster Sword. I regret nothing. I'm the most unoriginal person on earth.
I love it.
Yeah, and also, this is something they fixed, but hopefully they also fix their whole CMOS battery issue that's recently come up. I don't know if you guys heard about that.
I have heard about this, and there was another story that put out there, but it's sort of unclear, where somebody was asking about this, and like a rep said, we are looking into this, and they took it as, oh my gosh, Sony's going to try to fix it. It's like, that seems more like
not so much.
Like, hey, a rep is like, yeah, we'll look into your concern. So,
and apparently it's something that could also affect PS4 games as well.
And PS5.
And PS5.
It is confirmed. So Spawnwave did a great video on this yesterday, I think, where somebody actually went through the effort of disassembling their PS5, removing the CMOS battery and testing it, and I guess that person did not have a physical PS5, so they couldn't test with an actual disc-based game, but they did confirm that if your CMOS battery dies, downloads stop working. So That is. I think the same issue happens to the
Xbox as well. It came out as well.
Yeah, I would imagine that this will happen to every modern console unless something big changes. And that would have to be at the console's DRM level, basically, like how they validate your ability to play a game. So
yeah,
yikes.
It seems like it'd be a huge legal issue in the future moving forward if this is something these batteries probably last a while, so I'm not sure how many people are gonna care in 10 years, 20 years, however long these things last. But I feel like it might be a legal issue moving forward.
Yeah, it very well could be. I mean, if they render your ability to, because essentially I don't know what the license terms are. I guess I should know that.
Right.
For buying a digital game, right, from any modern digital storefront. But, I don't think that there's a clause in there that says that after X number of years, your license is revoked. Because I feel like that's something that everyone would have heard of by now, right? Like, hey, in 20 years, your digital games, you no longer own them, period. Like, your license is gone. And I'm sure there is something that says Sony can revoke them for any reason, because of course they would cover themselves that way, but they're technically not revoking them, but no longer providing you a means of validating them, which I think would become a legal hurdle down the road for any of these console manufacturers. So before they get sued, they might want to consider, because it really, all it would take is a firmware update, like the console telling the console, hey, this console's dead, so no longer check for license validity. Just let people play the game or whatever. Like you could easily at the end of life of a console do that.
people have tested on the PS4 too. It doesn't. If that CMOS battery is dead, it doesn't even work with physical games anymore.
Yep.
At that point, so
Right. Yeah, I had seen a few people saying, well, this is, screw the all digital future, and this is a perfect reason. And I hear you. I mean, I'm not a huge fan of the all digital future either, or I hear those people, I should say. But at the same time, this also affects, as we just said, disc based games. So this isn't quite an example of that, even though it's still.
Or you got to just change
really
the
bad
mind of companies to not do this.
DRM has to be far less aggressive than what it is what it comes down to.
Because again, as we've said many times before, you make the game readily available to buy, people will buy it. They won't pirate it. You make it hard, that's when people pirate crap.
Yeah. I mean, there will always be bad faith actors who will pirate things no matter what. But I think the vast majority of people, though, if they are able to buy something easily, they will do so rather than pirate it. Yeah.
Yep.
I don't know. But
at the end of the day, I'm glad that they've, at least for now, reversed this decision.
I have the time to save up some money and get things ready for that. When
I will say, like, the videos you guys made, I think they're still like great resources to see, because it's really hard to parse through the PS3 store, as I found out.
Pain in the ass, trust me.
so difficult.
Yeah. I am not looking forward to it, because I will make one more of those after this news, which is the PSP one with it's actually going out.
Right.
So I'll try to do that, but I'm not looking forward to it. I'll say that.
Yeah.
I also need to test whether it works with both with the Vita and the PSP to see if there's a difference. Trying to figure that out. I don't know. It's something I'm looking at once I get this next review done. So we'll see. But with that, I think we've covered all the major headlines from today's news. But before we sign off, Naveed, where can we find you at?
I'm on Twitter, YouTube, Twitch. Everything should just be my name, Naveed Mohebi. So that should be pretty easy, hopefully.
Awesome.
We'll have links to all of it as well, of course. So definitely
check in the description below. Right.
You want to see his, what was it? You said 150 strong Wii collection?
Yeah, something like that. I'm thinking about going through my GameCube collection next, which is not as big. But
but the GameCube also had a few less games. I'm just happy for when we have Fire Emblem Radiant Dawn, and on GameCube I have Path of Radiance. So
real good. Before I have to ask, do you collect Japanese GameCube games as well?
I have like 6 or 7 of them. I actually did a video on YouTube recently. It was my most recent video. I did a video of all of Nintendo's Japanese exclusive GameCube games.
Nice.
So
I need to watch that.
Things like Kururin Squash and the Donkey Konga 3, which we never got, and Gift Pia.
Oh, yeah.
So
Gift Pia
is
really
I forgot
weird.
about Gift Pia. Yeah.
Gift Pia is by Skip, the people who did Chibi Robo,
Mm-hmm.
which is awesome. Yeah, I love that game.
I forgot about that.
Gift Pia and Captain Rainbow are like the two weirdest GameCube games that
Captain Rainbow's badass.
I love both of them. Captain Rainbow is so good.
God,
I need to play
through all of those. I think there's a fan patch out there for Captain Rainbow.
Oh, I'm sure there is.
Gift Pia has a translation online, but you have to like actually go to the website and follow through it. So it's more difficult, but you can definitely play it and get through it.
Nice.
Mm-hmm. Cool. Well, we also have to give a very special thanks to all of our patrons, big and small, but especially those at the producer tier, for helping to make this show happen. In addition, a massive, massive thank you to the patrons at the executive producer tier and above. And those fine folks include Jared Edinger, Brandon Bovia, Rob Arman X, Itiono Ben, Dan and Twistle, Dennis J, Z Patty, Hyrule Hermit, Sky Blue Flames, Adam O'Sullivan, It's ATM, Octopuppet, Richard Herrera, Michael Phone, Floating Mew, Echo Carroll, Christopher, The D-Pad, Vesmio, Waffle King, Nick Waterman, Kitty Kong Fax, Angel Martinez, Vedron Hotik, Macalau, John, Joshua Hunter, Evernight Studio, Benny Yao, Azran127, Ken Relay 09, Jake Pelka, Geller, Joseph Rutkin, Titus Malvolio, Charlie Bird, Lucky Wonderfish, Top Dog 23100, Young Ben Kenobi, Douglas Chomix, Andrew Medeiros, RM, Patrick Harrison, Becca, Rocks the Cat, Fizzy Wakehoid, Flaming Highwayman, Sean Garrett, The Legend of Groose, Eddie B, Kai Ed, Kit Fisto, West Egg, Master Links, Sean Davis, Deaneth, Jackson Jordan, Michael McCall, Matthew Wong, Ashish Joshi, Goran Amber, Straight Lace, Hooby, Wolf X Blake and Moon Macarons, Kane, Captain Finlandia, 60 Minutes and 60 Seconds, The Game Orb, Dano the Artist, Revelox, Synchro Lord, Brainchild, Rosa Bowling,
Hi, Mom.
Kotar Peck, Scuff 196, Skull Kid Tiger, AJB Cool, Jason Uloa, Jaden Buck, Phantom Project, Wheezy Penguin, and Anthony Wilson Jr. Thank you all so much. And remember that you too can become a patron over at patreon.com/gvgaming, where you can watch today's news tonight live for as little as $5 a month. Thank you all so much for watching. And if you like this video, be sure to subscribe to Good Vibes Gaming for more good times like these. Until next time, good night and goodbye. Good vibes. Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Bye.
All right. Recordings can stop now. It is time to roll into the weirder portion of tonight's festivities.
Yeah, post show.
God,
Yeah.
post-show.
That last bit there, I was like, oh God, I feel like my nose is twitching. I have to sneeze. That's why I'm like stumbling.
I thought
like trying to pull back a sneeze.
I thought
It's funny. Griff thought you were
100%.
going to say Game Explain.
I thought he was going to say today's nudes tonight. And I was just like, oh, shit.
Oh, that's a whole
Wow.
different.
I gotta.
That is a whole different thing.
Show you guys something. A clip from Miss Fushi's recent stream.
Oh, I know what you're talking about.
Did a girl
You're
turn
talking
into
about
a car?
Senran Kagura one?
Yep, the Senran Kagura.
Oh,
football
no.
one. Have you guys seen this?
I have
No.
not. But I've
Are you
played,
familiar with Senran Kagura?
I've
Yes.
interviewed Mr. Takaki very many times, and he is, you know what games he makes if you talk to him.
Oh yeah.
Mhm.
Here you go. Pop up that clip from Fushi because her reaction just makes it all the better.
All right, give
The
me just a
reaction is
sec
so
here.
good.
Give me.
Let's see.
So
I
for
had her
those,
one twice, so fitting.
all right, I'm full screening it, and I will share it in our reactions frame here. Give me just a moment. Reactions. I'm just gonna have
Oh boy,
Ash.
yeah. If
Derek,
you guys
and
have not
Jack.
seen Senran Kagura, oof, they are.
I did a couple of Udon art books for Shinran Kagura, and it's something. It's quite
I
something.
can only imagine
It's a thing.
what
It's very
those art
horny.
books are like.
Uh huh.
Senran
Oh.
Kagura is probably one of the horniest game series I've ever encountered. that it's-
Unabashedly.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
it is.
I mean,
there's no shame.
I have an interview I did with him was published by Kotaku. Kenichiro Takaki, the creator of the series, and I think at some point, like, even though we weren't talking about it, he just started talking about boobs. Like, he was just like, boobs are great, man. He like gave me like a hand drawn illustration of boobs. He once because I've interviewed him maybe 5 times throughout my career, and one time he was telling me how thrilled he was that Xseed approved the special edition of one of his games to literally be like it had 2 CDs, and you open the CD holder and the picture is just 2 gigantic boobs, and then where the CD clip is right where the nipples would be on the boobs, and
Oh
he
my
was
God.
so thrilled about it. Like I was like,
It's like
this guy lives this series. Like he
Hey,
is 100%.
Loving his job, you know?
Yeah,
Enjoy what you do.
he definitely embodies that ad.
Evernight
Yeah.
says that series specifically did a 3DS game because 3D pressed as their driving motivation.
That is 100% accurate, and his vibe. Like he did
Uh-huh.
say that. All right, I'm gonna play Fushi's clip here. So for those of you waiting to click along, 3, 2, 1, and we're playing.
All right.
So, all right,
Just pinball.
just
We
pinball.
hit the Bruna.
And then,
No big
wow!
Oh man.
Like lost her breath.
Did it blow? Oh, okay. Like, did it actually blow her up?
No. She says apparently the goal is the better you do at pinball, the more clothes they lose. So like she had a pause. She can't breathe.
Uh huh.
Oh, so funny.
Apparently,
Oh my God.
here's the great
I'm
thing that
sure
she
you
told me
guys-
because
yeah,
the only
so
reason I know about this is because
that's
she rated me
baseball.
after this stream.
It's on the okay list.
As she just said, it's on Twitch's okay list. It's okay to stream that on Twitch.
That shocks me.
It's just pinball. What are you guys talking about?
Yeah.
No biggie. Just a pinball to Daruma. Yeah. Oh, that's funny.
Oh,
So ridiculous.
real quick before we go too far, I want to just mention that one of our members of the GV gang, XQ Jonah, is having hernia surgery today. So if you could please send some good vibes their way, they should be recovering
Absolutely.
by now. But
just all the good vibes.
Mention that. So I'm no longer a car. I temporarily co-opted the Derek Bittner cardboard car just because to avoid it from looking crazy. But wow, that was a clip.
That sure was. Well, yeah, no, all the good vibes. I had no idea that was happening. So all the good vibes, and I'm sure it'll be a successful surgery.
Absolutely.
Man, do we have a weird? I mean, we kind of had a weird video of the day already.
I mean, that was my yeah.
Doodle said, this is kind of a cool bit of trivia. Doodle says, Ash, I don't know if you saw, but the vocals in the Earthblade trailer were actually made using Vocaloid software. I thought you'd enjoy knowing that as a fan of the Project Eva games. That's cool. I did not see that. That's really neat. Thanks for the knowledge there.
That's awesome. Yeah, I never.
It sounded great.
It did.
Yeah, I'm so down.
I guess you can avoid royalties that way too, right?
Yeah, there you go. Oh, Jared Edinger does remind us, Wendy's training videos, there's cold drinks and hot drinks.
Yeah, so let's get a vote in the chat. Do you want some cold drinks or some hot drinks?
Oh my god.
Tonight's
we like to do cursed videos in the post show, Naveed.
I mean, cool. I'm down with that.
Yeah, we'll see what people say. There was a question I wanted to address by Steve G up above. Any updates or progress on a potential separate Patreon chat, maybe through Discord, once TNT goes live to the public? Yeah, we do, and Steve, go ahead, take it away.
Yeah, so there will be. I have got at least a prototype of it working in my own experimental OBS session. What we are going to do, what the plan is that there will be a live audience channel in our Discord. So you can watch on YouTube, but you can interact in the live audience channel. And what's going to happen is that patron chat will be visible on the screen during the video. So that means when people are talking about it in our Discord server, which of course is patron exclusive, which was kind of the challenge there. But what I'm trying to work through is how to properly stylize it so that it's not just a big ugly, Discord window sitting in the middle of our video feed. So I still need to do some stuff with that. I think I can change like the fonts and play with it till it looks a little better than it does normally. But Brandon, the miracle one, and I are working on figuring that out. So you should
also watch his Monster Hunter Rise review.
It is excellent.
Yes, which just went live today. It's great.
I am very proud to say I actually edited the text of that, which I used to do that every day, so I missed it. I missed going back in and editing a script the way I used to in the old days, but he did a great job. He really didn't need a whole lot of help from me on that.
Nice.
Mine was more like providing the I don't know crap about Monster Hunter input, like, hey, what the hell does this mean? I'm very confused. So because I think one of those things that you can kind of develop when you're really into a series that you're making a video on is that you kind of get into the vernacular of the series. And you forget that a lot of people that watch the video probably haven't played that game or that. Like if I was talking about Phantasy Star or Zelda or Street Fighter, I could definitely go full on inside baseball with a script on that and forget that I need to talk to the viewer as though they've never played any game in the series. Brandon did a fantastic job. Couldn't be happier with it.
There's so much of that in Monster Hunter too, so you could definitely get.
I think that's the intimidating thing for folks like me that want to get into it is like, if you just go in solo and you start looking at it online, you're like, wow, that's a lot. I'm out.
Yep. I needed somebody to help me out when I first got into Monster Hunter because every time I tried on my own, I could not get into it.
Let's see.
Sorry, that was all on you, Steve. Man, I as our resident editor background guy, I didn't even know there was a script. I'm guessing it never made its way to our Discord, to our general staff Discord, right?
Nah, Brandon's a true homie, so I always end up, poking around at stuff like that. I mean,
fair enough.
Yeah, it's not a big deal. I enjoyed it. All right, sorry about that. Real quick. So we've got 5 votes for cold drinks, and 1, 2, 3. Looks like 4 for hot drinks. I'm got 5 to 4. It sounds like we might.
Cold drinks does give us as somebody pointed out, does give us Frosties. So
True.
That's true.
I don't know that
But
cold
the
drinks.
hot drinks gives us coffee.
Yeah.
I'm
with-
better with Frosties.
Oh, you can have
than
iced coffee too. I'm down for either one, man. They're both great.
All right, let's go ahead and get cold drinks up on here since the audience has spoken. I'll put a link in the Discord for everybody. All right.
Cool.
I am maximizing this. I apologize in advance for the
I'm
regret you all
not
will feel.
seeing it.
Oh, I'm putting it in the chat right now.
Oh, okay.
Let me put it in the green room.
Actually, I have a question for the chat. Just keep this sort of hush hush for a bit. It's just something I need to know for a review because I cannot remember for the life of me. I'm having trouble finding it. For those who have played the original Nier, was there fast travel in that? I'm not. I don't think either of you guys. I know none of you guys.
I've
well,
not
maybe
played
I have not played the original Nier. Only
I
on
have
Vita.
not. Yeah.
Let's see here if anybody pops up. There has to be a original Nier fan. Everybody loves Automata, which I still have not played, but Jared Edinger, no.
Yes.
Okay.
The boat you can use is your means of fast travel. It connects the desert, the town, and the seafront.
Where'd you
Otherwise,
find that
you
at?
can ride the boar, which has a charge, or use the spear special. What? All right. Game FAQs, actually.
Huh.
Also, Reddit. Reddit has something from 2017 about fast travel. I just did
Okay.
Nier Fast Travel PS3.
I do not remember that when I played it back in the day, and I reached it. It's like, is this new? Because this is amazing if it's new, but I can't remember it.
Nice. All right. We have got
All right, cool.
cold drinks
Good to know for
queued
the
up,
review.
ready for some internet horror. All right. I'm going to hit play
All right.
in 3, 2, 1. Oh, this is already a bop.
Oh no!
Hell yeah, it is.
I didn't realize it was only 2 minutes long for a training video. Oh no!
Soft drinks, lemonade, water,
Oh,
cold
yeah.
tea. It's up to you. It's up to me. Cold drinks come in 4 cups. Gotta know the size before you fill it up. Biggie, medium, small, kids meal. Keep it straight. It's a good deal. Use the scoop to fill with ice. Never use the cup. Take my advice. For
Yeah,
soft
never
drinks,
use
fill
that
the
cup.
ice.
The backbeat's killing me. I love it.
That's what I say. Tilt the cup and push
That
against the
Biggie
lever.
cup is so
Push the foam
big.
down now.
I know,
If there's still foam, let
God, I
it
forgot about the
settle down.
supersize me.
Pour it off, or your boss will frown. When you reach a quarter
Yeah, you better
inch
pour that
from the
foam off
top,
or your boss will
that's
cry.
where you wanna
Yeah, you
stop.
don't wanna- yeah, don't wanna
Customers
f-
say they wanna stay.
I
Put the
see
drink
people
on
do
the
that now.
left-hand
The
side
way
of the
they
tray.
pour
orders to
off
go,
the
put
foam.
lid on tight. Make sure it pops. To do it right, then hand that drink to the coordinator and tell the guest you'll see him later.
Man, that's so good.
Oh no, dude!
The harmonizing, I
good.
love.
Uh huh.
Oh no!
Oh man.
Oh my god!
You're the one that can make the difference.
For lemonade, things stay the same, half full with ice. I said it again, fill the juice
They
to
can
a
make-
quarter inch.
She
from the
overfilled
top,
it when
just
showing how to
like
fill it.
you
What
did
the
the
hell?
I know.
These-
Water is a courtesy to our guests. Use a small cup, you know the rest. Now it's time to
Well, you're not
serve
gonna teach
cold
me how to
tea,
fill a
but the
water
ice
cup?
is
Shit.
different. Listen carefully.
I know.
I wanna
Instead
see the
of half
Frosty.
full,
Show me the
fill it all the way
Frosty.
up to the top of the cup.
Wow.
Add the tea, and if they ask for lemon, put it here. Now that's a given. Cold drinks, that's all there is to it. Go ahead and
I
try.
love the chalk
know
font.
you can do
I
it.
know.
Man,
They rhymed lemon with given.
This is a bot.
I'm so jazzed to serve a cold drink after that.
I'm disappointed they didn't include Frosties in that.
I mean,
Like,
but
I don't
a
know how to.
Frosty
how
isn't
to
Yeah, it's
drink.
weird that they didn't.
I will say though, hot drinks is
do
way
the
more. of a
water as a
bop.
courtesy as they use the bathroom sink.
Hot drinks is better, in my opinion, too, Steve. I think hot drinks is the superior of the two.
Yeah, I mean, if this was, and it clearly is, if this was a gold LP, you know, then hot drinks is easily platinum, at least.
Mm-hmm.
But y'all will have to wait. I mean, I mean,
oh my God, there's the link I have on here is Wendy's Grill Skills, which is 15 and a half minutes long.
oh man,
There's a Grill Skills cut though by Elemental Tim. That's 5.5 minutes.
man, we're gonna be going down this fast food training nightmare fuel hole for months.
Oh, probably.
Mm-hmm.
Aren't there like really good like? Sorry, I was just gonna say, aren't there really good like GameStop and like Game Crazy ones too?
Yeah, I think there are.
I've actually seen the Game Crazy one because I had a couple of my friends used to work at Game Crazy, and so they showed me, and it was pretty wild.
Game Crazy. I feel like I've heard that name, but
I don't think I've heard. See, I was always
That's
excited
the Hollywood
about,
video.
oh yeah.
Yeah. That's right. It was.
See, I was always excited about Funko Land.
Oh, I remember
Yes.
Funko Land.
Yes.
Yep.
And then they got about. I always remember there was the mall had an EB Games and a GameStop, and I always went to the EB Games because I thought the GameStop sucked. So I was like, how the hell did GameStop buy out EB Games when EB Games is so much better? What the hell?
We had an EB Games in our local mall across from the Tilt. It was an arcade called Tilt, but in the very early days, EB Games was called Software Etc.
Yeah,
and I still remember that. Yeah, Software Etc.
I applied for my very first job application was to the Software Etc. in my local mall, which was coincidentally right like kitty corner from the Tilt that was also in my.
Oh, nice! You had a Tilt as well. I love it.
Yeah.
The first place I applied to was actually Blockbuster because I was like, I wanted to work at a movie theater. I wanted to work at the video store because I was in the movies and stuff, and there's no easy to access game stores when I started working. They always had a bit more of a drive. So in town, it was Blockbuster and the movie theater, but you had to be 18, which is bullshit.
Oh. My first retail jobs were, no surprise, GameStop and Starbucks. Who's surprised? Games and coffee. That's me. But those it was retail's an experience for sure. Not one I miss. Not one I miss.
I spent 3.5 years working at Target, and those I'll never get those back. I'm very.
I worked at a grocery store for so long, mostly thanks to college and coming back and just working when I had the vacation from college, but I was at that same place for 10 years, long enough to get myself a free crock pot. It's like they had a whole like, hey, you were here for 10 years, you get a little bonus, like you can choose from this little store. And I was like, I got a crock pot, I'm moving out.
It's not a bad gift.
I just got a free air fryer from my day job. And the tradition continues.
Oh, Derek, I didn't get to play it myself because my wife and I were just spending time together on Saturday night, just having a date night. So she didn't go to bed until like after 1 a.m. So I didn't get to play the RE8 demo, and I haven't had a chance to watch your stream yet. What did you think? Like in a few words? Sold. Yeah, okay, nice.
I am sold so hard on Resident Evil 8. I'm like, this is amazing.
I figured. Yeah, I wish I could have played the demo, but next weekend.
You get as many 30-minute playthroughs as you have profiles on your PSN.
Oh, so that's good for next weekend then, I guess. Okay.
Yeah, cool. But there's also a hard stop point. So I would have cut off like, no, I want to see more. I try Amy's on my PS5, so
So you beat the demo.
Switched over to hers, skipped the cutscenes, beat it in 12 minutes. So because I knew what I was doing, I didn't know how much farther it went. But oh god, it's fantastic. Good haptic feedback on the guns. And then
nice. That's cool.
I can't wait to play it. I missed it because this weekend's just been busy for me, but
that's right. It's no longer up. Yeah, I'll be there to stream it again next weekend. Did you get to try it, Naveed?
No, I haven't. I played the first demo, but not the most recent one. I know the first demo was way just like kind of a technical showcase almost type thing.
Yeah, I have it. I just haven't played it. Gone through.
Oh, you should. It's pretty cool, but I am looking forward to playing the main or the second demo next weekend for sure. The Master Thief says, "I worked at a Sheetz for almost a year, and what an experience that was. I'm sure it was. And one of the reasons I called this out was because I absolutely read that as I worked at She Says for almost a year. Nice. I was like, you worked at Boundary Break? I'm so confused.
That was a local gas station where everybody's like, it's a Sheetz versus Wawa there, and my friends were."
Man, what is with like East Coast or more Eastern names like Piggly Wiggly, Wawa, Sheetz?
Dude,
man, I wanna live where you live.
Right?
I have a Sheets like two feet away from me. I can just walk there.
Right, and it's not bad either. It's like, you know,
No, the thing that always
My roommate got food poisoning from Sheets, but yeah, they're not bad.
there's that.
We have
the
here
thing
in
that
Arizona-
always got me was. Oh, go ahead, Steve.
Oh, I was gonna say here in Arizona we have a place called Quick Trip, which I've never seen anywhere else, or QT for short, and they sell all kinds of dubious food. Like it's like
Dubious.
everything on a roller, anything you could imagine, with the little peg that was definitely
I've
placed there
never-
like 19 days ago.
Never bought food from a roller just because it's like, I don't know about that.
I no joke, when I worked retail, used to intentionally buy food from a roller at the AM/PM close to the Target I worked at, just in the hopes that I would get sick. I'm like, please, please, I'm going to be walking around vigorously moving after eating this. I just want to get sick enough to go home.
There was my friend swears by every time we went, because there's none locally. I think they're in Maryland. Royal Farms have good fried chicken.
Oh, no. I got to visit you.
But I'm pretty sure that's just East Coast. So.
I'm just going to fly out to Derek's house and just be like, point me to the chicken, then I'll leave again. It's fine.
Well, you don't even my house. You have to go to like MagFest and then take a trip out to Royal Farms.
Hey,
Oh,
GVG
right.
does
I remember-
MagFest would be fun.
Oh, dude. I mean, MagFest already is my favorite thing, like, show ever. But all of us together at MagFest.
Going up to you, give you chicken.
Although I don't know if that's safe because I don't think I've ever been drunker for longer than I in my life than I am at MagFest. It's basically a 4-day party for me, so
Nice.
you're going to get a lot of drunk Ash if we did that. But what I was going to say was during my first semester at Arizona State University, I only did a semester there, but we don't have Sonics in California, in urban California, like in inner city. We only have Sonics in like out in the boonies in California, right? So I had never seen a Sonic restaurant. So I'm in a car in Arizona, and the person I'm with, or one of the people, says, "Oh my God, it's a Sonic!" And I'm like, instinctively, I'm like, "The Hedgehog?" And then, of course, as soon as I said that, I'm like, "Well, of course, it's not fucking the Hedgehog. That's a video game character." But I had never. That was literally my first time hearing of a Sonic burger, and it blew my mind that there is a whole chain named after this character I love so much.
I never ate at one. There is one nearby, but I've never eaten at it. It never looked that appealing, but it always did strike me as odd that Sonic did not have a Sonic tie-in.
Yeah,
Yeah.
It is weird that
Seems
they never
weird.
went there, but Sonic is real good. I love
Said they
Sonic.
went Olive Garden.
They're
I
all
have
over
never
by
eaten
my
at
house.
Sonic.
No, never.
Don't
Um,
always go for like whatever the limited cheeseburger of the month is. They're always weird, but they usually are pretty good.
Octopuppet makes a great point. If you're at MagFest, why are you getting chicken anywhere but Nando's? Yes, and my wife would
Good point.
totally agree with you. Nando's is love.
I have heard
There's also
nothing
a-
but good things about Nando's.
No,
Yeah.
it's amazing, dude.
There's also an insanely
Amazing.
good Thai place there.
Ooh.
Thai Pavilion, I think it's what it's called.
Oh, Thai Pavilion. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
good. There's like a barbecue, like grill bar, sports bar type place. It's good.
hmm
There's the Potomac Market where you can get, somewhat cheapish beer sometimes. Yeah, oh, so good. I miss Mag.
That fake city is so weird, right? Like it's like a fake city
It
in the
is.
outskirts of DC.
Oh, it totally is the National Harbor. Yeah.
Yes.
I will be right back because I just realized I'm never ever recording in the same building as my dad because obviously we don't live together.
nice.
But right now I'm with my parents, so I'll see if I can go grab my dad. I'll be one
All right.
second
Oh my
to say hi to everybody.
Just bring
One
on the
second.
Animaniac. It's fine.
No promises though. No promises.
No,
Bear
no.
back.
Don't force them. Don't make it anything like that. It's no big deal. Ash pulling rank is like, Dad, come on. I got show and tell.
Support your son.
Oh goodness. But yeah, I've never been to MagFest. Which is weird because I lived the closest out of all you guys, but it's just never went because it's so close to the new year, and I don't know, never happened.
It's a good one, but I think it's gotten almost overcrowded as the years have gone by.
Yeah,
So my first one was like 2015, and at that point it was amazing. It was my favorite con, and it still might be my favorite con, but it's just getting really, really crowded.
that's sort of the same feeling I got from I only went to MomoCon once in Georgia, but I have gone to quite a few too many games in Philly, and that just keeps getting bigger and just so bloated. But it's fun because you get to hang out with friends.
Yep.
So there's that aspect, but the actual convention is just like they need a bigger venue. It's just so packed.
Yeah, that's why I go though. I go to see my friends mostly. Like the actual con stuff is definitely a side thing for me at this point. So I've only been to one too many games. I think that was 2018, maybe.
Okay.
Yeah,
It's nice because that's where I do it's not a whole lot of like small game shops to buy old games. That's where I did a lot of that. That's where I finally found my copy of Skies of Arcadia.
Nice. On the Dreamcast or the GameCube one?
GameCube.
GameCube, nice.
Still have not played it, but eventually.
Yeah.
That's actually part of the reasons I started RPG Gems, and I wanted to get to that. But now there's so many other things to do in life that it's tough.
I hear a mild commotion coming from the lower left quadrant of our viewers' screens.
Are we live? We are. I mean, it's a closed stream. Well, you'll need a.
Oh my gosh!
I know pod. Which one is this?
That's the right one.
Okay.
So you should.
Hi guys.
Hello.
Hopefully.
Hello there.
We actually.
What's up?
Ash is framing up
weird.
the shot here.
Oh. My AirPods desynced. That's why. I don't know why that happened, but
weird.
there we go.
Yeah, we have a Ninja Turtle and an Animaniac in one shot.
Where am
Pleasure to meet you, Mr. Rob Paulson. We have
Hello, you guys.
There we go.
Am I
Probably can't hear you too well.
No, we can hear him.
We can hear pretty well, actually, Ash.
Yeah, we can hear you.
We can see your arm.
If you really want to see Ash's arm hair, there you go.
Where? Oh, there I am. Hi guys.
I had this
Hello there.
Well,
set up because I don't have
wait a
a
minute.
table.
Yeah, except that's taking a picture of the ceiling. There we go.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Ash's
Back
camera
to the
works a
showbiz
little bit to be
professional.
desired.
Look at that.
Oh, I see. We're in a bit of a delay here,
Yeah,
right?
we are. A bit of a delay.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that
Oh, we can't hear you anymore. Or we can't. They can't.
We can
Oh,
hear.
weird. We can hear
We
you.
can hear you guys.
can you hear me?
You know what? I
Yes.
went back on the AirPods.
Yeah.
Oh smoke.
Yeah, it did. There,
Oh, for
put them
God's
back
sake.
in.
Oh, for
Ash
God.
and his issues.
There. Now can you guys hear me?
Now you should be
Yes.
fine.
Yeah.
We heard you just fine, but
They've heard you
man.
so far. It's the AirPods messing up.
Well,
yeah.
thank you very much for lowering your entertainment standards and having me with my handsome child. This is very sweet of you guys.
He upholds
we
a high
thought we'd throw him
standard
a
of
bone. He said he
entertainment.
had this small time guy that we wanted to show off, so he's like, all right.
Exactly. Yeah.
Well, he takes great pity on his old man, so I am very, very flattered, and I don't even all I can say is Narf, and that's what I mean from the bottom of my pink little heart.
Who
Sorry for all the weird camera stuff. By the way, I literally have my laptop balanced on a pillow because I'm not in my office at my desk, so I don't really have anything I can
use. Not from the
use.
My Pillow guy. We're all good.
That's right.
Not the My Pillow guy.
Yep.
Yeah,
And
not him.
This is very, very kind of you guys. Hi, Joshua. Hello, Joshua. Hi, Adam. What's up, Rob? Yeah, what's up, Rob? Oh, my effing G. Yeah, it's Carl Weezer. You got that right, Grantles. Are you going to finish your croissant? Let's see here. Yeah, so this is really cool. And by the way, what you guys are about, Ash and I talked about this a lot on the way up, and of course it's not the first time. It is I of course am incredibly proud of my boy for a number of reasons, but the fact that you guys have gotten together and the ethos with which you've created this really lovely site is important. It really is important, and I know that's why you have so many wonderful folks on Patreon. I didn't know until several years ago the extent to which bullying was an issue in the gaming community. I really, truly didn't. But in this last year, I've gotten involved with a lovely outfit called Boo2 Bullying, BOO2 Bullying. And when they found out what you guys were about, they were, of course, thrilled to death because their whole idea is to try to, as they say, get them while they're young. You know, when folks are impressionable, in good ways as well. So
Yeah, because I kind of pitched the idea of them being interested in us, right?
Totally.
Yeah.
Totally. So I'm definitely had mentioned you guys to them, and I'm sure there will be things coming down. It is for sure a non-profit. It's a what do they call it? 531, 530C, whatever. Yeah,
couldn't tell you.
It's a not-for-profit, so it's not like you're going to make a shit ton of dough. But the point is, you see what I'm saying? It's just what you are doing is so important, and I'm very proud of all of you. And I'm proud to be, to have this knucklehead.
Yeah, I mean,
whom by the way, I've seen him naked. It's not that big a deal, really.
It's not. It's not.
Trust me. But thank you for having me on. And I am 501c3. That's what it is. Thank you, Griff.
Thank you, Griff. I appreciate that. $5 a month for an appearance from Mr. Paulson, Miserly Highway robbery.
Azran is our resident pun master.
I see. You're my pun. Well, nope. Yeah, that's pretty good. What is his name?
Azran127.
Azran.
Yeah.
Azran, so do I.
By the way, so let me do, because my child, I'm sure, thought twice about it, but before he invited me on, because he knew that I would be doing what I'm doing now, which is
I didn't think twice about it at all. In fact, I told you yesterday.
Not shutting up.
Clearly, I was happily cast as Yakko.
Well, I told you yesterday we want to have you on the show.
Well, thank you.
Figured out a way to do it.
Flattered, but I will leave you with the following, because as you know, Yakko's world is kind of old now, but my friend Randy Rogel wrote, because he is a true genius, and he's the guy who wrote
United States, Canada, Mexico, Panama, Haiti, Jamaica, and all that stuff.
So I'm going to leave you with an updated lyric that Randy wrote.
Hey, hello, new person in the water tower. Hi. Hey, person.
Yeah, this is my little guy. You've seen yours naked. I've seen mine naked too. It's kind of
good.
Yep, that's Guy.
That mine. Yep, my little guy. What? 6'1" and 240. Yeah, little guy.
Anyway, let me leave you with this, okay? And this is a little bit of an update. I have to do it a cappella, but Randy wrote this to bring Yakko's world into the 21st century. It goes like this.
Montenegro and Bosnia-Herzegovina, the Soviet Union is gone. South Africa, Georgia, Moldova, Latvia, Belarus, Azerbaijan, Uzbekistan, hey, Kazakhstan, hey, then the Tajikistan too, hey, Turkmenistan, hey, Kurdistan, Armenia, Tonga, Palau, Lithuania, Serbia, Kosovo, US, Samoa, the Balkans, Brunei, Macau and Crimea, then Eritrea, Ukraine and Estonia, here's Macedonia, New Caledonia, Eastern Slavonia, Ivory Coast and Cape Verde, and the Solomon Islands, Dubai. Goodbye.
All right.
Take care, you guys. Thanks very much.
Amazing. Thank you so much.
Bye-bye. So I'll be right out there. I'll be right out.
Okay.
It's not every day on the post show you get a fucking legend like Rob Paul show up. So wow.
Yeah, well, I just figured I'm never in the same place with him when I record, so I just figured this would be a perfect chance to do that.
He just heard the Vita was coming and had to come.
Shut
exactly.
it down. Patreon
awesome.
is over. We have peaked just now.
I was on the right show.
Yeah, right, there you go.
You just got live serenaded by an Animaniac. I don't know how we're ever gonna go higher.
But we do want to have him on the show. We've seen the requests. He just we don't know. He doesn't follow video game news, so that might not be the best format. But we do want to have him on the channel. And Steve made a great suggestion of having him stream like a session of What the Dub for or with us, where we dub over old classic movie lines and do that together. That could be a lot of fun. So we're thinking of ways to get him on the channel, but don't worry, that is definitely something we're actively thinking about. And the whole Boo to Bullying thing. They are interested in working with us, and so we'll see where that goes.
That's 100% something I support, and I would love to talk more to them about that. That is exciting.
Yeah, we've
definitely
cultivated such a great community here. Obviously, just looking at all of them, it's just
You know what though? I'm gonna say for the first time in history, we probably need to clip that portion of the show and just throw that out on Twitter or something for people to watch, because
that's not a bad idea.
Yeah, that might be a good idea. We'll have to do that from the actual recording.
Yeah, from the stream archive. But it doesn't get better than that, folks. I think on that note, though, it's time for us to bid our farewell for this evening. Tomorrow's 420 and we won't be streaming. Wonder why. but anyway, as I like to say at the end of every show, we got videos to make people to see, chicken to eat. So we will be back on 421 for the next episode of today's.
See how
Night.
everybody's holding up
Yes.
after that day.
Yeah, with our guest
And
Adele.
yes, and you and I are switching our hosting days this week,
That's
Steve.
right.
So you'll be hosting on Wednesday, and I'll be hosting on Friday.
That's right. Ash is tagging out. I'm tagging in. We got a lot of Dragon Ball to talk about tomorrow or Wednesday,
Yes.
the day after the new chapter drops. So I hope that my co-founders download the Shonen Jump app because I'm going to have a lot to say. But we'll see you. We'll see you then. Wednesday, 4:21, 4 p.m. Pacific, 7 p.m. Eastern. You know the drill. We'll see you then. And until then, bye everyone. We'll see you. We'll see you Wednesday.